Overwatch Apex Season 2, energized by Hot 6, Round Robin. Today's matchup, Flash Lux, KongDoo Panthera.
All right, welcome back to Overwatch Apex Season 2, guys. Doing Monte Cristo here, and looks like KongDoo Panthera, like wishing on a lucky Luffy.
I mean, they're just adopting the C9 cheering meta, but unfortunately they don't have a God's bald head, which makes it a lot more entertaining, I have to say.
I think you do need a person on your team with a head like a crystal ball that sees wins in your futures. But for now, they've just got Luffy, I guess. But KongDoo Panthera is certainly coming into this one against Flash Lux with a ton of momentum. These guys are looking like the better team by far, but as we saw in our first match, Monty, that doesn't always count for everything, does it?
It does not, but when we take a look at KongDoo Panthera, this is a team, the only remaining undefeated team. 3-0 win over Fnatic, 3-0 win over Runaway. We thought Runaway might actually cause some problems for them, but it was not at all close. They got destroyed, and Flash Lux, they're out. They're 0-2. They have one map win. That map win was on Assault against Fnatic, and that's all they've got going for them. So,
yeah,
pretty staggering difference between these two teams, you've got to say.
I mean, this one's pretty cut and dry as far as what it looks like on paper coming into this right now. I mean, Flash Lux, it's basically kind of a David versus Goliath situation. If David forgot all his rocks for the sling at home or something like that. If I had to make an analogy, it's kind of similar.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for sure. KongDoo Panthera, they're an interesting team though to watch, particularly in this patch, because they really have committed to triple tank and soldier more than a lot of other teams. In fact, they played a lot of triple tank in May, which is very interesting. They like to play very beefy defensive compositions, particularly on assault and hybrid maps for that first point. So they sort of have a style unlike what we see in a lot of this tournament. They have a lot more May, and of course they're going to stick with Evermore on that Roadhog, his signature pick.
Yeah, and the big story with KongDoo Panthera this season too is that they've been able to take that really, really good individual skill of Rascal, of Evermore, the top player on the ladder right now, and channel that into really good team play. Because when we saw them last season, the roster was, pretty much the same roster it is now, very minor changes, but they just couldn't quite come together as a team as well as you'd think they'd be able to. They used that offseason really, really well, and this season they're looking like the total package and certainly a contender for the finals, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially with how many different kinds of strategies and compositions they can run. We can talk about, yes, they prefer to be a more defensive team, but think about how we saw Rascal basically just run over Fnatic using Pharah.
Yeah.
On the other side, with Flash Lux, we have Fleta, who's had a lot of – they're actually one of the heavier Pharah use teams that we have in this tournament, but they just have not seen anywhere near that same success. Kisu on the Mercy has been bad.
That's the issue with the pharmacy that they keep trying to run, right? Is that Fleta is not the greatest Pharah we've ever seen, but he's not a terrible Pharah either. He's pretty decent, but if you've got a Mercy like Kisu that is constantly finding new and unique ways to die, that combo just doesn't work as effectively. So Flash Lux right now is a team, unfortunately for them, with a lot of problems at pretty much every stage, but let's see what they have to say about it.
여기 정면에다가 포함. 그렇죠. 완벽했어요. 3분 47초만 있었어요.
B까지 전격적이죠 이건요.
플래시로서 이런 경기를.
네. 좋은 모습 마지막에 그래도 세트 득실 하나 하면서 끝낸 거라고 생각이 들고요.
뭐 포나틱이라고 하면 이름만 대면 다 알만한 명문 구단이기 때문에 일단 많이 좀 긴장을 했는데 포나틱이라는 강팀을 상대로도 쫄지 않고 첫 경기보다는 저희가 게임을 잘 풀어나가서 많이 후련합니다.
네.
들어가서 손쉽게 터뜨려버리는 콩두 판테라. 기세를 한번 탈 때 기세를 탈 줄 아네요. 솔직히 이번 경기에서 가장 많이 보였던 선수는 피셔. 피셔의 윈스턴이 모든 것을 해결해 준 것처럼 완벽하게 팀을 이끌어줬습니다.
뭐 저번 런어웨이 경기 때 진짜 홀가분하게 집에 갔고요. 이제 플래시럭스 이번 경기에 할 때도 진지하게 임해가지고 이제 북대 라인에 이름을 들 수 있게 활약할 겁니다. 뭐 플래시럭스 팀 경기하는 걸 많이 봤는데 사실 강팀이라는 생각은 안 들었어요. 좀 편하게 이제 임할 수 있을 것 같아요, 이번 경기.
콩두 판테라는 좀 거의 완벽에 가까운 강팀이라고 생각을 합니다. 좀 어렵지만 충분히 도전을 볼 만한 팀인 건 확실해요.
플래시럭스 팀 강점이라고 하면은 플레타 선수의 파라가 일품이어가지고
플레타라는 정말 스타성이 짙은 플레이어. 이 유저 그러니까 선수를 발굴했다라고 해도 될 정도로 정말
단점은 파라를 맞게 되면 좀 많이 약할 것 같아요. 저희 라스칼 선수가 기본적인 에임이 너무 좋아가지고
너무 좋고요.
맛집 투어였죠. 예. 막 들어가서 하나하나 그냥 골라 먹는 그런 모습이 나오는데
파라가 위로 뜨지 못할 것 같습니다.
저희를 굉장히 좀 얕보고 있을 것 같은데 저희가 이제 그런 점을 역이용해서 허를 찔러보겠습니다.
콩두 판테라를 들어오기 전에 플래시럭스 팀 테스트를 봤었는데 제가 메인 탱커에서 떨어져가지고
그래서 이제 저희 플래시럭스 팀이 멤버들을 뽑을 때 발전 가능성을 위주로 보고 뽑았기 때문에
뭐 잘 된 것 같아요. 결국 콩두 판테라라는 팀을 들어올 수 있게 됐고
잠재력이 부족해서 떨어지는 게 아니라
저를 안 뽑으셨던 코치님 후회하게 만들어드리겠습니다.
마지막까지 최선을 다해서 콩두 판테라의 발목을 한번 잡아보겠습니다.
Well, this one just got personal, Monte Cristo. Fissure passed over for Flashlux, picked up by KongDoo Panthera, and like you said, it's working out
Love it.
pretty well for him. But Flashlux, this is a team that could still reach back from beyond the grave to drag KongDoo down with them.
Yeah, and Flashlux, best case scenario, maybe they can escape relegation. But KongDoo Panthera, they've made it to the next round of the playoffs no matter what. It will all come down to this group. They may not make it out in first if they lose, but they've already punched their ticket to the quarterfinals, and it really will come down to the Runaway Fnatic match to see who is going to ultimately advance here.
Yeah, and of course they have their tank Wiso, who makes us say things like, Wiso don't have any ultimate charge. Like, Wiso in big trouble right now. Like, I thought I left Jar Jar Binks behind me, man. Why are you doing this, Wiso?
Jar Jar always comes back to haunt you, Doa.
Wiso always come back.
He's the stuff of
Wiso
nightmares.
make you remember. Oh, I just like scared myself there. I have nightmares tonight. Well, Flashlux again. Their season is over after this one, but they do have a chance to play the spoiler. They're going to try as hard as they can, I'm sure. And KongDoo Panthera, you can't underestimate a team with nothing to lose. You got to take it seriously.
You
Even
do.
if your name is Waka Waka.
Even if your name is Waka Waka, sometimes you have to take things seriously. Speaking
Guess
of
so.
Waka Waka, though,
Yeah.
coming into the Runaway match, he was playing a lot of D.Va before. We had questions. Okay, what is this guy going to do when he's forced onto some other heroes? He went back to the Pharah, which he had good play on last season, but also the Widowmaker play he was displaying was pretty darn solid as well. And there's Rascal at the end, the man who single-handedly, it seemed like, took down Fnatic.
That's right. Also, in their off time, bartenders at a very high-end cocktail bar.
Or workers in
See
a factory in 1953.
That's right. Or people who maybe like man an elevator in the 1920s. Like I suppose
Elevator attendant.
They'd be wearing like that little cap too, I suppose.
They should get those for the next season.
They should, yeah. It's like the spirit of the GE Tigers remains in Korean esports. KongDoo Panthera, of course, have a lot going for them this season. They've been looking great all across the board. Should be able to, again, on paper, cruise through to an easy win today. But like Fissure said in the interview, you got to take it seriously.
Yeah, you definitely do. But this should be, on paper, a quite easy roll to victory. I think anything short of that will be pretty disappointing for KongDoo.
Well, the suspenders are coming off. What do you think that means, Monte Cristo?
Can't game in suspenders.
I guess
No,
so.
apparently not.
You can
Too
only-
much pressure on the shoulders.
You need a really comfortable chair for that, I've heard. Heard rumors. Word on the street.
Maybe a chair that is art.
Maybe an art chair.
An art chair.
I love to sit on art. Here you go.
That's why you're not allowed in museums anymore.
I know, right? Yeah, that thing, that circumstance with the Mona Lisa, you know, that's going to follow me around wherever I travel from now on.
Yeah, you weren't only banned from the Louvre, you were banned from France.
I know, right? They don't like it when you sit on Leonardo da Vinci's greatest works, although I would disagree. I think he has much better paintings than the Mona Lisa. But that's just
He doesn't have very many paintings that survive besides the Mona Lisa.
I'd sit on all of them. Actually, he completed very few paintings,
That's
which
true.
is why there's so few.
That's true.
Just like, there you go. We laugh and learn together. That's the important thing. Lijiang Tower is going to be our first map of this best of 5. With Fleta, it's better, I suppose, but needs to get a lot better.
Does have to be a lot better, especially considering he is going up against another excellent Vara player, so he may not have that same free reign as we could see a lot of Vara from both sides in this matchup and get down to those aerial duels.
Yep. And KongDoo Panthera, I'm curious to see if they're going to end up throwing Rascal on that Pharah, go Pharah versus Pharah. Should be fun to see the mid-air aim duel.
Yeah, it should be. And we've seen a lot of Soldier as well, obviously, from a lot of teams in this tournament, but KongDoo not afraid of running the Soldier either, so many answers for the Pharah for them.
That's right. Let's go Lijiang Tower and see who takes the early lead in this best of 5. It's game time. I get it. Hey, everybody's buying Mars rovers these days.
It's a trendy thing to do, get your own Mars drone.
Yeah, that's right. But then you have to get your own space program to get it to Mars. That's the tricky part.
Hey, maybe you just launch it on a rocket with a bunch of other people's Mars drones or space drones.
Yeah.
I guess just drive it around the
It looks like they're driving it around the moon, though, on that
lunar
poster.
landscape.
Yeah.
It does look like the moon.
So they're just like trying to peek into Winston's window or something like that, or you know, the thing is he's not,
Maybe they're drones to kill all of the crazed space gorillas.
That's
though,
the thing, is
They're
that
it's a military operation.
Winston escaped that, yeah, but you may not know that in the Overwatch universe there is a group of murderous, crazed, hyper-intelligent gorillas on the moon. You know, as you do.
Now, Waka Waka going to be alone here on the Pharah, trying to get an angle for that knockoff. Not going to hit anything right away, but triple tank plus the Soldier for Flashlight, so very standard composition. Fleta will be on the Roadhog.
Got to be careful of that hook, and that is why. Ooh, wow, Zarya Bubble at the last moment saves Waka Waka. That was a close call, but they knew it was coming, of course. KongDoo Panthera dealing the early damage. Weasel finally does go down, and Fleta with the hook onto Evermore equalizes the kills here. KongDoo Panthera fighting back, and Fleta finds himself kind of on his own near the point. Tries to get another hook kill at the end, but Waka Waka just destroys people.
Yep, Waka Waka just killed everybody right there, and in spite of the fact KongDoo Panthera lost a member first because the control point did not open up, didn't really matter, and they're able to even things out and actually just go ahead and roll up that point. No damage really coming through from Vale, and especially because of how far back Waka Waka is playing on this Pharah, going to be very difficult for him to take that hero down.
Yep. Pulse Bomb not getting Rascal a whole lot, and this is getting a bit ugly. Kills already coming in. Yeah, they did, but they lost a lot of people in the process, and Rascal's all too ready for the cleanup. Yeah, Weeso just going to jump off and end it.
Oh, no!
Oh,
The
Eunice.
late kill on Rascal there onto Eunice right at the boarding ramp to the shuttle. Sets them back by another 10, 15 seconds. And now have to aggressively move forward, trying to get some charge on their Zarya while they wait for their Lucio to join them as they come around the point.
I want to clarify that when I said Weeso going to jump off and end it, I meant the character resetting in the map, and not us. Monty and I are fine. Don't worry about us. We're okay. Waka Waka coming back in with the Pharah, though. Fisher with 2 kills already, though. Pulse Bomb for Rascal. Some damage, but not killing anybody. He's able to finish off Fleta anyway, and KongDoo Panthera pretty dominant here on the Garden.
Weeso going to jump off the map again. The player.
Yeah. Weeso going to jump off and end it. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Weeso.
Well, this has been very one-sided so far. Flash Lux has been using ultimates, but the value has just not been there. Meanwhile, KongDoo matching them in a lot of regards. They already have their Graviton up. Modern working his way towards that ultimate, 90% now. Maybe they can make something happen on this push.
Yeah, Modern's still lacking that Graviton Surge. Ooh, but KongDoo doesn't. And Waka Waka actually taken up by Modern. He was a little bit too close there. Modern now has his own Graviton Surge. This may be the fight they were looking for. He can save it. They may have enough to take the point right now. Yeah, they'll flip it.
That was actually very well done. So the combination attack that KongDoo Panthera was going for was the Graviton Surge into the barrage, but Wiso turned and actually ate the barrage, managed to pick up the kill onto the Pharah while the Graviton was going on, so the combo totally denied.
Yeah.
And Waka Waka is going to switch to the McCree to help deal with Veil on the Tracer.
Okay. Yeah, he also started out way too close to Modern when he popped that barrage. Thought maybe he could get the kill quickly, but the left click was in range, so not a great situation for Farah.
Fleta also going to flank around the side and find the kill onto Rascal. Again, slowing KongDoo down just a little bit.
KongDoo is still sitting at 99%, but this can be a hard one to flip back once you've lost it. Garden is a tricky point. Coming in now, Graviton Surge immediately though. Where's the follow-up? There it is. Veil comes in with the Pulse Bomb. No kills though, but Evermore getting a little bit of follow-up. It's a brawl. KongDoo Panthera trying to grind their way to a win here. Veil survives his opponent's Pulse Bomb. Oh, but then they sort of kill each other. Kisu gets the finish off onto Rascal there. Graviton Surge for KongDoo, but no follow-up. That was maybe a bit early from Evermore on that ultimate.
Yeah,
they take the point back though.
The Big Bang stalled out by the sound barrier from KongDoo Panthera. Waka Waka has that. Wow,
oh,
nice
Eunice.
boop. That's getting moved over into the Deadeye, and that's should just about wrap things up here. KongDoo got a little bit cocky on that point when it hit that 99% mark, but they are able to stabilize, come back plenty of time considering their opponent had no ticks at all.
Yeah.
But yes, getting that close to the Graviton Surge with the barrage may have not been the smartest move.
Not a great plan. You think you're going to be cool and just blow him up instantly, and you're like, oh, Zarya has that shield thing.
And unfortunately, the Diva was just sitting there holding down right click in your face.
Oh, Diva has the defensive matrix thing. Who knew?
Bummer.
A lot of fairs should know. Well, KongDoo Panthera still coming away with a win on Garden, and now we're moving over to Night Market. See if they can get this 2-0 on the Fujang Tower.
Waka Waka switching over to the Zarya right now. So Triple Tank and Soldier, Flash Lux doing the Triple Tank Tracer, which has been their second most used composition behind Triple Tank and Soldier.
Well, Evermore swapping over to his famous Roadhog. Not landing that first hook, but this guy is a beast on this hero. Gets the first kill onto Luffy. Wiso actually getting that one, and oh, nice hook onto Modern. Good start for KongDoo Panthera already. Couple tanks going down, and Flash Lux really has no way to run to the point.
Whoops.
Ooh, Evermore getting a little bit too aggressive though, taking too many shots.
And not really respecting the damage coming out of that right click. Doesn't end up making the biggest difference, but we'll see what Wiso can do as they come in. Point does go in favor of KongDoo Panthera, but things are going south for them quite quickly.
Yeah, kills on the periphery of that fight are really leading things back in Flash Lux's favor, and Rascal, whoa, the tightrope act. He's a spry old man, that Soldier 76.
Has tack visor too, does maybe end up wasting that. Can he find Eunice on the side? He's gonna get booped off, but takes Eunice with him.
That's a true revenge kill there. And
that was silly. You don't use tack visor like that. I mean, he was at half HP while his team was re-engaging. Reinhardt blocking out most of that, and then just gets kind of foolishly booped off of the edge. Sure, gets a few percent, but
all right, so KongDoo maybe not taking this one as seriously as
to watch Doa. The Sombra play, how quickly he's hacking and using the invis just everywhere on the map, able to get out of dicey situations seemingly so easily.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of this match, the question's going to be, was it, it's great Sombra play, but oh, and he hacks the Reinhardt again. Wiso has to back away.
I didn't know you could hack from up there.
Shield.
That's actually really important fact that you can hack a Reinhardt for being that far up. Can actually just drop down.
Oh my gosh.
This is so fun to watch.
I've got chills, man. Rascal's just on another level. Yeah, they may be able to defend right here. Veil getting a couple kills with that tack visor, but I don't care what happens in the rest of this match, man. I've seen the best Sombra I've ever seen before, and
you certainly have, Rascal. You're just gonna have to get out of here. Eventually, does manage to translocate back to the rest of his team, nearly gets his ultimate back up again. Flashluck dumped everything they had into that last defense, and we're going to see another EMP shortly.
Yeah.
Waka Waka's going to be there to take advantage of it too.
Graviton Surge, Rascal did go down early this time. He had his EMP, but not going to get a chance to use it. Flashluck's fighting back. KongDoo Panthera, yep, nice hook onto Waka Waka, and they're going to have to reset.
Yeah, they only used one ultimate though. Fisher looks like actually used the Earth Shatter. So a couple used, but they're still going to have 3 left over. Flashluck still needs more time to get their ult economy into a good position.
I think that might have been Rascal's first death on the Sombra.
Yeah, I think it was actually.
It's a hook onto Fleta. Backs away though. And he's so elusive too. He's not over pursuing these kills. He's getting out when he knows he needs to get out.
Incredibly annoying is what he's doing.
Yeah. Sombra is very fragile. But if you're careful, goes for the hack again. Don't know if he got that one off though. Sound barrier comes in. Flashluck's having to back away. Weeso in big trouble now. I totally jar-jarred that one, but you get what I'm saying. Fissure with the kill on Fleta. Here we go again. Graviton Surge, and KongDoo Panthera looks like they might be ready to roll to victory here.
He's gonna take it up there. Doesn't necessarily want to go for that one so fast. And there's the tack visor. There's that nano boost, but it's not actually stopping the payload.
Yeah.
That will though. Okay, good whole hog.
Okay, so KongDoo Panthera gonna have to back off a little bit. Rascal willing to fight the 76, but not a nano boosted tack visor Soldier 76.
No, but less than 2 meters left. Flashluck's holding on at the very last second. Rascal does die a little bit late, and Vale will switch to Pharah right now, realizing that KongDoo may have some troubles killing him, but considering they have tack visor, he's gonna have to be really careful with that line of sight.
Yeah. Flashluck has a lot of ultimates coming up soon. They're in a good position to defend this with just a minute remaining. All they need to do is have one more big team fight win.
Rascal's gonna hold his EMP for the sound barrier though.
Oh yeah. You would think so. Maybe. No, using it right now, just wants to get rid of that Reinhardt shield. Earth Shatter comes in at the same time actually, and Flashluck's been scattered early on. There's a Graviton Surge though. He's got to get out. He does get out. There's a charge coming in. Flashluck's trying to push KongDoo Panthera back. They haven't lost anyone quite yet, but there goes Eunice. Rascal still just so impossible to take down. Another kill onto Vale. And Flashluck's Weeso back on the Bastion, not going to work as well as it did for KongDoo though. And that payload is ready to go the rest of the distance, and that is it. KongDoo Panthera, an amazing offensive round on the back of Rascal Sombra play.
Yeah,
that was a round for the ages, man.
Absolutely. The rest of the team play did falter at times, but when they were playing around Rascal, this is one of the reasons why they were so able to easily beat Fnatic is containing Rascal is so difficult because of his hero pool. You never know what he's going to pull out, and just an amazing display of individual skill.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's the first time I've seen someone take Sombra as close to, the most effective you can make her as you can.
Absolutely. I think Sombra is a hero that has a very high skill ceiling.
Definitely.
And we just saw a glimpse of that.
Yeah.
It's only going to get better from here on out as the players improve, right? But that was the first time that I felt like somebody was really pushing the limits of Sombra's kit.
Yeah. Absolutely. Man, can she be hard to kill in the hands of the right player.
It's also the way that he was using the invisibility and the teleport together, right?
Right.
Constantly, it's so hard to figure out where he is at any given time because he'll go invisible, reposition himself, and then come in for the kill, or just even to distract on the flanks, build up that EMP, and his team was so keyed in on when to attack as he was coming around from the flank and nailing it. And there he goes, hacking you guys too.
We'll be back, guys. Don't get hacked in the meantime. We'll see if Flashluck can bring it back, or if KongDoo Panthera will close out the 3-0 victory. We'll be back with more Overwatch Apex Season 2 and hopefully more Sombra play from Rascal right after this.
aggressive plays from them on that Sombra, but they have such a diversity in play styles. They can also do this kind of funny business with the Mei and just sort of turtle up. Oh, we're going to see Bling actually on a Soldier, so something different.
Okay.
In fact.
Yeah. So they're going for the
single support.
Yeah, wow, single support, just Luffy on that Ana, and that's it. A lot of self-healing, of course, with the Mei 76 and the Roadhog, but interesting comp. Panthera being a bit experimental today. Vale coming out for Flash Lux on the offense with that Hanzo.
Fleta finally on the Pharah for the first time.
Yeah, no mercy for Kisu, though, which is probably a good thing based on what we've seen in the past.
Some dive from the tanks, though, as we see Wiso going in onto the roof to try and disrupt that high ground advantage immediately. Mei shooting up, but they realize very quickly that the Mei wall is not going to be needed because of how aggressive the Winston and the Diva are, so Mei falls back instead.
Oh, Vale really gunning for Rascal, but good protection there, the Roadhog hook, and Rascal claims a bunch of kills himself.
Rascal just headshotted the Pharah, I believe, right out of the sky with a right click.
Possible.
That was smart, though, of Rascal, because when you see the Reinhardt, you know you need to make a play for the main gate. But when the Winston and the Diva are already diving in, they're going for a partial dive composition, turn onto those tanks and take them out instead.
Vale back again.
Yep, no swaps. No swaps from Flash Lux just yet.
Wow, nice kill on the Blink. That's the pick they were looking for, and that's the go button. They're moving. Vale wall climbing again. Let's see if Flash Lux can get anything going with that Soldier 76 out of the way.
Nice
Looks
job.
like he can. Yeah, picking off Rascal and Vale. The DPS a lot of people are talking about going into the season, but he's finally showing it now. Maybe a little bit too late to get to the playoffs, but not too late to get point day on Hanamura anyway.
Easy take after that. Picked up the necessary kill right off the bat onto the Soldier. Caused everybody to jump in pretty easy. But the best part is for Flash Lux, they got an opportunity to use 0 ults in that push, and now they're going to be able to come back quite strong.
Yep.
Also, Bling is going to have his ult reset as he moves on to the Lucio, so a nice time to strike here for Flash Lux.
They'll sneak around the outside.
Oh no!
Oh, they just lost Kisu. Yeah,
that's actually huge.
That's classic Kisu right there, man. Getting out of position, getting himself hooked.
That's so big.
Yep.
With the snowball that they could have run straight from point A under those particular circumstances. Now KongDoo Panthera is going to have a chance to really build up a nice ult bank of their own as they get 5 online very quickly, and Flash Lux's advantage evaporates.
That's a bummer. Oh, going for an early Dragon Strike, but there's a Mei wall immediately from Rascal. Fleta going in with the nano boost anyway. KongDoo Panthera trying to handle him. Waka Waka taking a lot of damage, but not enough. Fleta, wow, just blows the barrage on Luffy. Does not want that Ana to be part of the equation at all. And now Evermore forced into the hole. Vale, meanwhile, finding all the shots he wants on that Hanzo. Finishing off Evermore. There's the Earthshatter. He's got to finish off the Reinhardt. He wants to do it. The Blizzard coming in. And it looks like it's going to be a hold eventually for KongDoo Panthera, but that was a close call.
Very close call. And they got 2 ticks at the very least, which means with 5 minutes left.
Almost 2 ticks. Just the one.
Oh, that's actually huge. Had it been 2 ticks, it does make a big difference. If you have 5 minutes to work with, you do not need hardly any time on that point. In order to cap after that, really limits a composition's ability to stall.
Evermore going to swap probably back to the Roadhog. Yep. There we go.
But just enough ults, and that's what we're talking about. Had Kisu not died on that first push, that's what that push could have looked like, except the Blizzard and some of the other crowd control ults from KongDoo would not have been there, and it would have been potentially a very easy cap. So clutch hook from Evermore to stop that from happening.
Vale was able to build his Dragon Strike back up again. He's going to throw it in. They're going to go for the same push here. Rascal gets grabbed by Fleta, actually. Good start for Flash Lux. Vale being forced out, though. Waka Waka finally pushed back himself. Sonic Arrow coming out. Be able to get a little bit more info on who is where. Fleta trying to walk down the stairs, but he's going to get met by Rascal. They're going to pop the sound barrier and go in on this one now. Fissure on his own on the point. Got some friends there now with him. Waka Waka jumping down along with Bling. Flash Lux already on the disengage. They lost Vale. They lost Fleta. And they lost the push. Oh, actually, no, they didn't. Somebody's still sneaking on there. Wow. KongDoo Panthera not paying attention to the point. Rascal on the Genji now. That second tick was taken by Flashlux, though.
Yeah, they overcommitted on the side
Yeah, they
push.
did.
After Rascal swapped over to the Genji, he's going to die preemptively. At the very start of that fight, Evermore manages to get a hook again onto Kisu. That fight and the switch onto Genji, I like from KongDoo Panthera. They realized, hey, beforehand, Vale, when he was on that Hanzo, he was alone by himself in the back line. There's not really another threat besides the Zarya onto the Genji from Flashlux, and he could just poke from long range and build up that Dragon Blade quite quickly. So we'll see Vale temporarily on the Tracer, now going for the Genji himself.
Well, now Flashlux only needs that one tick on the control meter to take point 2. They're going to try to bum rush second floor here. Sound barrier. Was that? I thought that was going to be used. Where'd that go? Bling denied, I believe. KongDoo Panthera, though, getting the kills.
Yeah, sound barrier
That was interesting.
sounded like
Perhaps hooked out of that.
it was going to go down, but didn't end up in the end. Looks like Eunice might have been killed during the animation, actually. He has 50% left, and a late pickup there, but they do manage to desuit the Diva. We'll probably have to go die and respawn with the suit again.
Yep. So there's the reset. Panthera with a lot of ults to work with. On the defense, Flashlux, they've got a couple more pushes left in here. I wonder how many ults they're going to commit to this next one, because they've got time to build up a bit more.
Yeah, they do. It'd be nice for them just to draw some ults from KongDoo out, though, and then make another push in just a minute.
Hog, Evermore pops it. Rascal with Sound Barrier and has the Dragon Blade. They're going to just win this team fight defensively and dominantly, but they do use nearly all their ults. They do use all their ults.
They use 4 ults for that, which is a huge overcommitment from KongDoo Panthera. And Flashlux, that's a massive win for them. They use nothing at all, and they will have 5 going into their final real push, let's say.
Fissure's Earth Shatter is going to need to be very good. Waka Waka will have his self-destruct soon, but maybe not in time for this next push.
Rascal doing what he can to poke out from behind the cherry blossoms. And a slow push onto the high ground now from Flashlux, and they're faking it actually as they go through the gate instead.
In through the middle. Modern has that Graviton Surge waiting for everyone to jump down. Fissure's just going to charge right away. They're trying to get rid of the Reinhardt. There's a nice Earth Shatter. Where's the follow-up? They've got it. Luffy with the kill onto Wiso, and Fissure just swinging away. The Genji eventually does go down. Waka Waka gets 2, and Flashlux. They didn't use a lot of ults going into that one, but that was a pretty important defensive fight for KongDoo.
Yeah, they didn't use a lot of them, but they did use the Nano Blade, which was their main offensive tool to break through. And it was a clutch sleep dart there, actually, from Luffy after the Earth Shatter that shut everything down. Crowd control on point. Charge finds its mark from Fissure, and they're able to hold in a pretty tough circumstance. And that may have bought them the time they need.
Flashlux, they've still got a lot of ults to use. This is the push. They need to make it work. 10 seconds remaining. Time to jump down on the point. KongDoo Panthera meets him on the high ground. Sound barrier from Flashlux. Whole Hog gets used. Modern still holding that Graviton Surge. They've got KongDoo a little bit scattered. Remember, they only need a tiny bit left on the control meter to take this one. KongDoo Panthera pushing them away with the Whole Hog, though. Earth Shatter comes in. There's a follow-up. Fissure making it work. There's overtime now to just take out the mobile members. Eunice does go down. Rascal getting a bit more. KongDoo Panthera holding strong. And that should be it. A very close call, but KongDoo Panthera holds Flashlux to just 1.
And they never should have been able to do that, Doa. KongDoo just superior in its positioning every time, reacting quickly to the advances made onto the point by Flashlux and fighting back in spite of having been down for the last 2 minutes in terms of ult economy. They're able to target the specific members very quickly, and Flashlux can't cover. They had a super early sound barrier on that last push, and by the time they actually got onto the point, it had already melted away.
Yeah. So that's tough for Flashlux, but now they're in a situation where they must hold KongDoo Panthera to at least 1 point, or they will lose this match.
And they'll be done with their season of Apex. They will be heading into relegation. Tough for them. See if they can make it back out should they lose this next map. Regardless, though, they have to come back and make a reverse sweep if they want to even have a hope of not hitting that relegation stage.
Yeah, it'll be tough either way. I did like Vale's Hanzo in that last.
It was impressive.
It was good.
Yeah. Flashlux has had some nice individual plays. We look at
Yeah.
Waka Waka. We look at Modern, who on that defense against Sombra was actually probably the best player on his team, and Fleta has had some good games as well. It's just been the coordination. They just can't make those ultimates work together. They're not attacking these points as a cohesive unit. And while KongDoo Panthera seemingly has all the answers. And
I mean, that's really what it comes down to in Pro Overwatch, right? You can have all the individual talent in the world. We've seen teams with a ton of individual talent, but if you can't put that together with solid teamwork, you're just going to really struggle.
you are Rascal.
Very interesting comp coming in for KongDoo if they decide to stick with this.
Sonic Arrow looks like he's just going to see if anybody is outside. Dodge that. Fire Strike.
Swap? Okay, there we go. Yeah. Still just a single tank and massive dive, along with the best supports
dive
for handling that. Yeah, Lucio for the AoE heal. Orb of Harmony coming from the Zenyatta. So this is a really interesting comp. Super aggressive. Tons of damage coming into this one.
And no pressure on the Zenyatta or the Pharah either. That's the critical thing. They've already pushed him all the way back into the top level of the shrine.
Yeah, Waka Waka gets a bit
Nice
low.
job.
Taken up by Fleta, who gets 2 there.
And Fisher actually manages to die as everybody resets.
Okay.
They failed to get that first push. Looks like Waka Waka may have been a little bit too far ahead of his team on the backside, but Flashlux did a good job of walking back into that choke point behind the Reinhardt shield and turtling up.
Yep, Modern back on the high ground again. And they're going to swap. Okay, so they tried to go for something ultra aggressive. Fluffy back on the Ana now.
That's the only thing they're changing, though, so
Yeah.
still going to be pretty darn aggressive when it comes to
Sure.
this next assault.
Having that sleep dart is just so valuable, though. Rascal just trying to control the high ground. Keep Modern off of there. Keep Modern distracted as the rest of his team rushes the point. Going on to Kisu now on that Ana. Rascal manages to back away, but the supports are vulnerable. Biotic Grenade, they use it to take out Kisu. KongDoo with a couple early kills here. Meanwhile, Nano Boost onto Vale. KongDoo loses a couple, but Waka Waka with the barrage might be able to turn the tide. In fact, he will. And that's going to be point A, going over to KongDoo Panthera.
Yeah, it will, and unfortunately for Flashlux, yes, they got that nano boost down, but Vale was at 98% towards the tac visor when he died, so they were trying to just push him over the top, couldn't quite get it, and then it's turned around quickly by Waka Waka with the barrage, but that's a barrage that's not going to be available as they head to this point. Luffy only a 66% because he started the game on Zenyatta, so the Nano Blade not going to be an option, at least at the start of this fight.
Rascal nearly has a kill on the Eunice already. Nearly has a kill, but he can't quite complete it. Meanwhile, Fleta gets 2 for Flashlux. There we go. He had to work for that one, but it's a hollow victory because the rest of your team is dead.
Yeah, had he been able to get Eunice just a little bit quicker, could have changed those targets. Instead, Fleta gets a lot of time to land hooks and right clicks. And he will stand there, giving everybody a heads up as he waits for this Tracer. Clever play, knowing that he was going to try and bridge that gap.
Yeah. Still there again, dodges out of the way.
Evermore.
That bomb. Oh, goodbye, Evermore. We're like Nevermore now, all right? Vale has like no health, but he's going in with the Zarya shield, so he's okay. They do push KongDoo Panthera back again. Dies to the Primal Rage in the end. Fleta's still there, so KongDoo Panthera has to back away, but they've still got 5 minutes to take this point.
Now, Wiso and Vale commit their ultimates, but that's just fine for them. Evermore is done, not playing very well on Tracer, decides it's now time to go back to the Zarya. Still have a long time to contest this one, so they shouldn't be too worried.
Certainly experiment with more. Even if this does result in a tie, they still go to that tiebreaker on the control map.
Yep.
Which you'd imagine KongDoo is, fairly confident they'd be able to win.
Well, even if they lose the map. Got so many more attempts here.
Here we go, big push coming in now. Graviton Surge used by Flashlux. Rascal, the one getting kills though. They're gonna pop the sound barrier to try and keep people up. And Rascal just destroying people on this Genji. This may be the start of the end. KongDoo Panthera gonna get at least 1 tick on the control meter before the respawns pop up. D.Va coming in, Wiso not lasting very long on the point. Wow, Waka Waka really doing a good job of controlling that high ground with the Soldier 76. Has to dodge back from behind the Mei wall. And Flashlux able to push this one back for the moment, but not quite enough, I don't think. And KongDoo Panthera, they're just gonna win it right here. 3-0 for KongDoo Panthera.
Wow. And
Pretty smooth 3-0 as well.
and their third 3-0 of the group stage. They will be the only team heading into the playoffs with a perfectly unblemished record
That is
at
really
9-0
impressive.
in terms of map score. So KongDoo Panthera dominant in their road to quarters.
Yeah, and they're the total package, man. I mean, they've got the individual skill on a massive scale. They've got the team coordination. We've seen so many different comps, or at least attempts of comps with them. Really a team to watch, maybe the team to watch going into the playoffs.
Absolutely. There is the asterisk, which is that their group was not terribly difficult in the end. They were not up against the toughest opponents, but
true.
they will have a chance to prove themselves against stiffer competition in the weeks ahead.
Yeah. I believe they finished that point two with about, 3.5 minutes remaining or something like that?
This series was pretty convincing. I thought Flashlux did a good job of fighting through on King's Row, made it very close, pushed it into the last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But Hanamura and our first map on Lijiang Tower were quite convincingly in favor of KongDoo.
Oh, Flashlux just a bit outclassed. Looks like play of the game goes to Fissure once again. That's the second one of the day here.
Of course, adding insult to injury because he was not picked up by the roster of Flashlux when he tried out for them. And there you go. Just get the play of the game at the end. Make sure they know who the player they should have drafted was.
2 out of the 3 maps, Fissure had play of the game. That definitely
That'll
makes a
be sweet.
statement, doesn't it?
That'll be sweet for him.
Oh, yeah. Well, going to go over to shake hands now. The KongDoo fans, pleased, of course.
Rascal fans.
Yeah. Well, who isn't a Rascal fan after
I am.
seeing that Sombra game?
That was damn impressive, Doha. It was a pleasure to be able to watch that. And this team is, I think, anything short of a victory this season will be a disappointment for them. This is a squad that is likely going to make a very deep run.
Absolutely.